Alchemy is a mysterious art that revolves around all living things, and the study of life, in particular, requires painting.
Yes, you certainly make wonderful paintings of anything that piques your interest, Mr. Albedo.
Arise, lifeless dust of the universe and that within. Thou art reborn. Do you understand now, Sucrose?
Simply amazing, Mr. Albedo.
Next, I will paint the common V-shape. I find the carapace to be its most enjoyable feature, the intricate patterns, and even its sheen. But the rest of the V-shape is quite ordinary, and requires but a few quick brushstrokes. Voila! Arise, lifeless dust!
Hey, what's going on guys? Mondstat here. Hari ini kita mau mainin Genshin Impact. Berhubung update 1.2-nya udah rilis ya. Jadi kali ini intronya pendek aja karena gue juga nggak tahu questnya bakalan kayak apa. Tapi kemungkinan besar sih bakal nyeritain si Albedo guys. Oke, langsung aja kita ke gameplaynya. Oke, kita udah ketemu sama si Sucrose.
Looks like Timaeus isn't here today.
Timaeus isn't here today. Oh ya, biasanya di sini ada NPC cowok namanya Timaeus guys. Dia alchemist.
Customers? Oh, pardon me. Are you looking for Timaeus? No. Just strange for him to not be around. Paimon always sees him standing here. I see. He was called away by Albedo a little while ago.
Called away by Albedo.
I was called over to attend
Dia
to the
dipanggil
store.
sama Albedo. Jadi Albedo ini karakter yang baru
I'm
rilis
Sucrose,
di
Albedo's
patch
assistant.
1.2 Genshin Impact.
If you have any
Dia
alchemy
bisa
related
didapetin di
queries,
banner
you
gacha
can
yang
always
kali
ask
ini
me.
guys ya.
I do my best to help. Huh? Do I look nervous? My apologies.
Malu-malu sih Sucrose nih ya.
I don't get out too often. I'm usually in the
Gue
laboratory.
juga punya si Sucrose Construction 1. Lumayan banget. Si Sucrose ini bagus banget buat support. Jadi dia kalau pakai artefak udah benar, udah bagus, dia bisa nambahin damage karakter DPS kita guys.
Thanks. No worries. We're all clued up on the basics of alchemy, aren't we? Hey, aren't you the legendary traveler?
Legendary is a bit too much lah.
I've heard so many stories about you. Always wanted an opportunity to research you up close. What do you mean, research? Sorry, don't mind me. What am I saying? Still, you'd definitely be able to help Albedo. It is you after all.
Kayaknya kita harus bantuin si Albedo nih.
Is he also an alchemist in Mondstat? Apologies.
Oh,
I never
dia
introduced
alchemist
him.
juga.
Albedo is the
Knights
Knights
of
of Favonius
Favonius.
chief alchemist. He's also Timaeus and my teacher.
Timaeus and my teacher. Jadi dia gurunya si Sucrose sama si Timaeus. Jadi mungkin dia lebih hebat ya daripada si ini ya. Sucrose ya. Ya pasti aja sih, dia kan bintang 5 ya emang ya.
Investigating the truth of this world and has made many an important breakthrough. We often get alchemists coming to Mondstat from all over Teyvat, seeking his help. They say that the subtlest of guidance from Mr. Albedo helps him to solve the
Ada
most
masalah katanya,
unfathomable
kita harus bantuin
problems.
si Albedo untuk menyelesaikan masalah. Besar katanya.
Still, it seems that he's encountered a problem in his research recently. Every time I see him, he has a concerned look on his face. I'm sure that Albedo would love to hear about your incredible exploits. I know it would bring him lots of new inspiration.
Oke.
Albedo is a true gentleman. He'll be sure to pay you back in equal measure for
Can he
helping
make
him
me
out.
stronger?
I don't see why not. Testing the limits of living beings' capabilities
Don't see
is
why
one
not.
of Albedo's areas of research after all.
Albedo ini kayaknya
and
researchnya
Timaeus
jago
will
banget
be
guys.
conducting
Dia
research in the mountains right now.
pinter banget nih kayaknya nih.
I'd love to take you both to see him, but somebody has to
In
attend
the
to the
mountains
store.
right now.
I'm afraid you'll have to
Mountains
go to the
sepertinya
entrance
yang
to
dia
the
maksud
pass and
nih
look for him by
si
yourselves.
Sucrose maksud nih
Look out for a
Dragonspine ya.
refined
Ini
gentleman with the
map yang baru
presence of a
rilis
true
di
scholar.
update 1.2 ini juga.
Sorry. That's the best I can
Oke.
do. You'll have to do your best. Hey, stop worrying.
We got this. Oke guys, sekarang kita disuruh ke jalan masuk ke Dragonspine ini ya. Sini guys. Wah, jadi kita kayaknya harus teleport dulu ke sini nih. Terus jalan ke sini nih. Oke, langsung aja kita teleport dulu aja. Oke, kita perjalanan dulu guys. Jadi nanti kita ketemu lagi di waypointnya ya. Oke guys, sekarang jadi gue udah sampai di teleporternya nih. Kita pencet dulu teleporternya, jadi ntar kita bisa teleport ke sini lagi ya. Teleport waypoint unlock. Terus kita disuruh ke itu tuh ada ini ngajar-ngajar gue mulu. Oke, udah aman, dia udah kabur. Wih, ini ya si Dragonspine ini ya, keren banget sih. Oh, atasnya kayak berawan gitu terus hijau-hijau gitu guys, kayak keren banget lah pokoknya. Ini kita disuruh ke oh ini gitu. Siapa nih?
Sister
Oh, ada si
Rosaria.
Barbara.
So here you are.
Sister Rosaria, namanya Rosaria nih kayak si cewek ini nih. Yang
I've told you
bajunya
already,
apa
I
sih nih
don't go
kayak
in for that kind
merah
of thing.
ungu gitu ya.
I've got more important matters to attend to.
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance. The church hopes that all sisters will be present.
Hopes? That's odd, cause I don't recall.
Jadi kayaknya ntar
fulfilling
karakternya bisa
the hopes
dipakai
of
sih,
others
bisa
clause in my
didapetin
job
gitu guys.
description.
Soalnya ini beda sama karakter-karakter biasa ya.
Sure, but
But what? You're the event organizer.
Kayak
aren't you?
NPC biasa
Do you
gitu.
not find
Beda.
it the
Ini
least
desainnya
bit
bagus. Dan setahu gue emang udah sempet dikasih tahu juga ini bakal
This
bisa
far
dipakai
out
guys.
from Mondstat at
Rosaria
this
nih.
hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important
Jadi si
commemorative
Barbara ini
event.
datang
If I'm
untuk
late, then-
ngundang si Rosaria ke acara di gereja gitu kayaknya nih. Cuma si Rosaria nggak mau. Nah ini kita nih.
Seems like that nun's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain. Or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the
Si
long-standing Favonius
Paimon tuh
Church.
ngomong keras-keras banget
You're
sampai
an
kedengeran sama si
eavesdropping
Rosarianya ya.
pixie from who knows where.
Wait, she heard that? But Paimon was whispering so quietly.
Mana ada so quietly.
And
Pas
as for
gitu
this
suaranya.
outlander you seem to be following...
So it's
so
you.
it's you, the honorary knight that saved us
Oh
from
dia tahu kita nih.
Stormterror.
Honorary Knight.
Well, otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the nuns of Mondstat have the authority to arrest people now?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Oke.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains?
Kita mau nyari si Albedo ya. Kita
If
disuruh
it's
nyari
him you're
Albedo
after,
sama
I
si
made a point of
siapa namanya
noting his
Sucrose.
tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental traces in these tracks. Never
Elemental
hurts to be
traces?
vigilant. I couldn't care what you think. Come on then. I'd like to see what he's up to anyway.
Oke, kita bakal bareng si Rosaria ini nyari si ini ya.
They should
Si
show up pretty
Albedo.
clearly with elemental sight.
The genius researcher and the seed of another world. Use your elemental sight to follow Albedo's track. Tapi nggak ada guys. Oh ini ya, ini ada nih. Ada nih. Oh, to view the details of Sucrose. Characters in sub-zero climate will continuously accumulate sheer cold. Will start losing HP. Bonfires and other sources of heat will diminish sheer cold. Oh, jadi kita ntar kalau misalnya di tempat ini nih bakal kedinginan, guys. Kalau kedinginan, oh ini mungkin ada bar baru ya. Tuh lihat ada bar baru di bawah ini, biru. Jadi kalau misalnya sampai barnya penuh, nanti darah kita bakal berkurang terus, guys. Kita bakal cobain aja. Aduh, nggak nyampe dong. Oh ya nih guys, jadi sekarang gue udah pakai si Razer ini. Gue dapat Constellation 4 lumayan banget sih, karena emang Yang pentingnya itu dari constellation si Razor itu di constellation 4 ya. Gua narik banner yang sebelum ini nih, yang bannernya si Zhongli. Lah, kok nge-lag sih? Emang gua ngincarnya ini si Razor, gue pengen Razor nih karena emang karakternya keren banget, apalagi ultinya tuh yang keluar serigalanya ya.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very
Kita ikutin aja.
interesting.
Yeah?
Mana ya?
After committing a crime,
Oh, bener nih,
you'd
bener
be
nih.
able to leave the scene without a trace.
Kita ikutin terus, ikatin terus. Wih, ada apa tuh ya? Kristal biru gitu guys.
Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm alright.
Apa nih?
I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Tapi nggak usah diklik guys. Kita harus lanjut
There's more to
cari
being a nun in the Favonius Church
si
than
Albedo.
anyone realized.
Oke. Apa nih? Ini yang buat chest itu kan ya? Tapi kok warnanya merah guys? Ntar si Albedo mana dulu? Kita harus ikutin questnya dulu nih. Itu ntar. Oke. Oke nih si Albedo nih ya. Karakter baru guys. Dia karakter bintang 5. Kalau nggak salah support dia.
That Albedo?
Terus elemennya tuh batu ya.
The word on the street
Gio.
is he loves sketching. He'll hang around anywhere for a good landscape. The views and scenery here are pretty good. Sketches everywhere you look.
But can't he see those hilly churros? Isn't he in danger?
Oke, kita bakal lawan krocok-krocok.
Startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Mantep banget ini. Si Razor ya. Gila sih, ini keren banget sih. Kata gue ini salah satu karakter terkeren loh. Walaupun dia bintang 4, tapi dari ininya, dari apa, desain karakternya terus desain skill-skillnya juga keren banget,
Who
parah.
are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my sketch. Would have been ashamed to leave these particular hilly churls
Oh, dia lagi
unfinished.
ngegambar si Hilichurlnya ya?
What's up with sketching hilly churros? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my sketch, it may give you a clue.
Ya, gambar Hilichurl nih.
Wow, look at the detail. But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
You can find these hilly churls anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work in the cyclical lives of such primitive communities. Such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work. Evolution? The
Evolution?
transition from nothing into existence, from the known to the
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't got the stamina. We found your man. I'm headed back.
Si Rosaria ini males dengerin guys. Males dengerin si Albedo nih.
What?
Albedo
Don't you
ngomongnya
have any questions for
panjang
him?
banget.
What a weird.
Kayak dosen aja.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems that you were looking for me?
We met a girl in Mondstat, Sucrose.
Sucrose.
She said you were stuck with your research.
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not
Si
mistaken,
Albedo ini kenal sama si
you
Sucrose ya.
must be the honorary knight.
Karena emang dia yang
You've
ngajarin
got the whole
Sucrose
of
sama si
Mondstat
satu
talking.
lagi guys, si alchemist satu lagi
I've heard
deh.
a bit of everything.
NPC alchemist yang
Your
biasanya di
actions during
Mondstat.
Storm Terror's attack, your elemental control, and quite a few other mysterious things. I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. You came from afar. From another world, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would benefit enormously.
The research?
Forgive me. This must be confusing. Where should I begin? The essence of life?
Whoa. You want to start with that?
You're right.
Wah,
Giving a
Albedo ini kayak
demonstration
pinter
would
banget
be
nih.
better than trying to explain. For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen
Wih,
leaves.
bisa gitu dong? Bisa gitu dong?
You can do that?
However, I have a particular
bisa
seed in my
bikin
possession
ranting
The
yang udah
method I'm
kering gitu
talking
jadi
about
ada
has
daunnya
produced
lagi
no
guys.
results. It's like you, in that it hails from another world, helping it to grow, to bloom. That's the problem my research is up against. That's where I need your assistance.
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out, Paimon's not sure we're gonna be much assistance.
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world, but you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you, I may just be able to find a way to get the seed to sprout.
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a
Kita
little...
jadi bahan itu ya, eksperimen dia ya.
It's possible, but I will do everything in my control to ensure your safety. Time for a change of surroundings. We should be going.
Oke, let's go.
There's research to do.
Lah, masih lagi cutscene dong. Oke, si Rosaria ini nguping. Tapi Rosaria ini kelihatannya kayaknya
Travelers seem to have hit it off.
baik sih.
Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk to Mondstat?
Kayaknya dia baik sih, cuman agak jutek aja, agak judes aja guys. Ini deket kita ini ada ini ya, ada apa namanya? Yang buat teleport guys. Ini lumayan banget sih kalau misalnya kita udah nyalain, jadi ntar. Oh, ternyata di atas itu dong, di atas itu dong. Ntar aja deh, ntar aja. Jadi kita sekarang lanjut lagi ke questnya guys, test site ya. Oke guys, ini ada apa nih batu merah nih? Scarlet Quartz. Apaan tuh ya?
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts, will it grow into anything?
I don't know, but I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into
Nih,
that
nih, visionnya
would
nih.
constitute a big leap
Gio
in
ya,
my
batu ya.
understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even creation may be possible. Still a little difficult to understand?
No, Paimon's got a brain.
Bingung gua nih,
But
si
what's the
Albedo
seed
nih mau
gonna
ngapain gitu.
become? Isn't that more interesting than whatever it was you were saying?
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit,
Dinner's
dinner's
on
on
me.
me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation.
Si
I'm
Albedo
afraid.
ini menurut gua desain karakternya keren
I
banget sih.
suppose it's one of the few
Ya.
non-alchemy related disciplines.
Perpaduan
I'm really good at.
warna-warnanya cocok banget tuh, ada birunya,
The subject
ada
of my first
marunnya,
research
ada
was the
emas-emasnya gitu, ada
In this
putihnya
world,
juga keren banget lah.
manipulating the
Rambutnya juga
elements
keren.
requires a vision.
Itu lehernya kenapa ada tato ya?
Though I can't see anything resembling one on your person. How you're able to
Keren sih ini,
freely
dia desain
manipulate
karakter keren banget sih.
elemental power
Kostumnya
is
juga keren banget,
something
parah.
I'd like to ascertain. I've got a few questions in that regard. Firstly, do you have any extra
Extra
organs?
organs?
A second heart? A fourth stomach?
Hah?
Things of that nature.
No lah.
Fascinating. And this floating,
Floating child
is
is...
connected to your body in some way?
What a
No,
stupid
no, no, no,
question.
no.
Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not
Floating
floating
child.
I was
kecil
merely
terbang.
considering the possibility
Anak
that
kecil
you were an
ngapung.
external organ. Perhaps there is some invisible force connecting you. Oh, that rules out that possibility. I wonder, did Paimon guide the elemental power to you? But that would mean that Paimon's elemental
Mungkin dia
power
mau
would be
mempelajari
enough to
kenapa
break
kita
through
ini
a
bisa
mountain rock at least 10 meters
pakai
thick.
si
Or cause
Paimonnya
the waterfall south of Springfield to flow backwards.
dan muka. Aduh. Aduh.
No, that
Jadi
definitely
kayaknya si
can't be
Albedo ini
it.
mau mempelajari kenapa kita bisa pakai elemen-elemen ini tanpa pakai vision guys. Karena orang
In
biasa
that
di sini
case, it would
yang
appear
bisa
that there's no
nge-skill
obvious
pakai elemen itu
difference
dia harus
between
pakai
the
vision nih.
composition of
Ini
your
barangnya
body
nih.
and that of the humans in this world. Given that there's
Tapi kita kan
clearly
nggak
a
punya vision
discrepancy in our
dan kita
research,
bisa
it
kontrol
seems
lebih
that
dari
only
satu elemen.
experimentation will yield the answers. Firstly, this mysterious elemental
Bahkan
power.
Archon aja ya kayak si
I'd like to
Venti,
examine
kayak si
exactly how
Zhongli
it
dia
manifests
cuma satu
externally.
elemen loh.
Let me lure a few
Tapi emang
slimes
dia nggak
to the
pakai vision,
area.
dia pakainya gnosis ya.
Perhaps
Mereka tuh
you'd be able
pakainya
to
kayak
defeat them
alat yang lebih kuat
using
gitu guys.
whatever method comes most naturally to you.
Huh? Doesn't seem very sciencey.
Direct and clear observation are
Ngakak,
imperative to a
ngakak
good
banget si
experiment.
Paimon mukanya.
This is just a simple exercise. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in
It brings
6 of the
6
units.
units.
Slimes! Slimes
Well, prepare yourself. The slimes will be here any moment.
Oke, kita bakal lawan slime itu. Ya, elah slime doang mah. Gua ulti lagi ya kan. Lu. Masih selamat nih. Ada yang selamat nih. Jangan naik dong. Buset deh. Loh. Oke. Keluar terus. Ulti Razor nih the best lah. Keren banget, parah. Oke, habis ya. Habis.
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready.
Atau scratch.
Excellent. According to my observations, the
Di
manifestation
sini mungkin
of the
slime-nya
external
cuma ada
elemental flow
slime
is as
yang
expected. Elemental reactions are
es
normal.
guys, karena emang di
There's
gunung
nothing- now
es
that we
gini
know
kan.
that the external flow is manifesting normally.
Gak tau sih,
Let's
tapi
test the
coba kita lihat aja
internal
ntar ya.
Internal flow? How do you test that?
It's very simple. I can use alchemy to create a potion that will extract elemental power. If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an elemental reaction.
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel some temporary queasiness. No
Not
bodily
bodily
injury.
And in the abnormal course of events?
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparations. Try not to worry. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved, but if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, we'll be able to locate it with this test. Just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for any other reason, that's a bad sign. Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. Before we get started,
Keren banget sih si
the
Albedo sih.
potion we'll use for the test is
Ini
missing a
desainnya
catalyst.
keren banget lah,
It's a
rambutnya
type
semua
of
tuh.
ore known as
Si
star silver.
matanya warnanya juga, wah keren lah.
Not all of it is suitable.
Ini jadi
I'll
bilang
take
salah
you to
satu
my
yang keren
campsite.
banget juga.
We can gather some star silver ore on the way. All going to plan.
Menurut gue ini kayaknya untuk sejauh ini ya,
should be able to begin
ini desain
concocting the potion
karakternya
when we
aja
get to
loh.
the
Jadi kayak si
campsite.
fisiknya aja, tanpa skillnya, tanpa kemampuan itu yang lain. Pokoknya cuma si fisiknya aja. Ini kayaknya
But it seems
menurut gue
like
paling
there's a silver lining.
keren sih, iya bener.
Let's keep our eyes open.
Soalnya dia karakternya tuh mantep banget dah. Oke, sekarang kita lanjut lagi. Deket nih. Follow the road and search for star silver catalyst. Ini ya, star silver catalyst ya kayaknya nih. Kita bantai dulu nih. Oke, ini star silver catalystnya gimana cara? Ambil, hampir mampus gua.
Odds revealed.
Oke, heal dulu. Kenapa keluar terus sih? Oh, lu. Ini kita... Oh, ini ya?
Here.
Star silver catalyst ya?
Should
Ini
do
apa
for
dong?
catalyst purposes.
Oh, itu kayaknya bukan deh.
This one. Usable with a bit of polish.
Oke, yang last di sini nih.
What luck.
Oke.
This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way.
Oke, kita dapat ini juga lagi apa? Teleporter ya. Jadi kita nanti udah lebih cepat guys, pindah-pindahnya lebih enak. Walaupun emang mapnya belum kebuka ya. Oke, kita udah sampai di kemahnya si
This
Albedo
is my
nih.
campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here.
Apa nih? Kita suruh ikutin Dian? Apa tuh ya? Ini si Timaeus itu ya?
My assistant Timaeus here is
Oh
helping
iya,
me with my
Timaeus
research.
ini.
I'm guessing you may have met in Mondstat already.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment. The report is already up on the board there.
Whoa. Look at all the data.
Wah.
You these results from one slime battle?
I wouldn't call them results, inferences, and a few daring guesses perhaps. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic relationship between this traveler and the slimes. Consider, you don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental
Ya nih,
energy.
bener. Kita nggak punya
The
vision, tapi kita
slimes
bisa
don't have visions either.
pakai
Yet
elemental
they
energy ya.
too are able to manipulate the elements. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be able
Jadi
to
kita mirip
establish
sama
a basis
slime
of
loh.
fact.
Slime juga dia
Not
nggak
bad
punya
for a
ini
point
ya.
of entry.
Slime juga nggak punya apa?
But strictly speaking, slimes are
Vision,
elemental
tapi
life
dia
forms.
bisa pakai elemental
In other
reaction,
words,
elemental
beings consisting
power
entirely
gitu.
of the elements. A cryoregisvine or even a wildflower might be a better analogy. But tracing back the phylogenetic relationships between plants and animals, you might have to trace back to the world's origins. In that sense, things might get difficult, don't you think?
Yes, sir. That sounds correct.
After all, we've got our primary data already. This traveler is a visitor from another world. If it turned out that he did have a phylogenetic relationship with this world,
Phylogenetic kan apa sih?
now that
It would. Apologies. I was so excited to get the data. I'll slow down a bit next time. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting analysis here for the time being. If you're keen for an update, just come and find me.
great.
Okay.
I'll leave you to it.
Apa nih ya? Ada kayak tabung,
Looks like the potion's ready.
bukan tabung sih, kayak
I'll try a little first.
dia lagi
If all
masak
goes well, I'll
air
hand it
itu
over
ya,
to
warna
you.
hijau gitu ya. Potion.
In line with my expectations. Ready to drink. Remember to
Take
keep
the
calm at
potion
all
from the
times.
desk.
And breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
Nah ini ya, kita use. Kita udah minum potionnya. Suruh ngomong lagi sama si Albedo.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face.
It's burning a bit.
You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What happened to him?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded,
Buset
you'll
dah,
only
ini si
experience
Albedo nih
momentary
omongannya buset
discomfort.
banget ya. Dia
Once the flow is complete, there won't be
terpelajar
any
banget
other
guys.
effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. But of course, you're my assistant. By all sense and reason, it would be wrong of me to place that risk onto you. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing.
Aw, Paimon wanted
Oke.
something cooler to happen.
Kita katanya nggak terlalu beda jauh sama
Then again, better an
orang-orang di sini.
ordinary
Cuman
result than a
anehnya kenapa
peculiar
kita
result.
bisa
Peculiar
ini
results
kendaliin
have a
elemen sih,
tendency to
masih
be
belum
of
tahu itu.
The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same, they can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine
Ya betul betul betul
or
betul.
an eye of the storm. Have I explained it clearly enough? To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your
Jadi bagus nih,
elemental
kita
power
karena
without
mirip
fear.
sama orang di sini.
Timaeus,
Jadi
the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see the collating
kalau
them.
misalnya kayak dia bilang kan, kalau misalnya
Just a moment, sir. I'll
monster
handle
gitu
it.
dia susah gitu. Tahu monster itu kayak apa. Tapi kalau manusia karena udah banyak research di zaman dulu, jadi kita udah gampang guys.
Wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was.
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You
Okay.
can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit. Mr. Albedo, say something.
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to prepare something. Wait one moment.
Dia harus
If you're interested,
mempersiapkan
why not have a
sesuatu
look
dulu
around?
gitu katanya guys.
It may help to pass the time.
Oke, kita suruh look around. Look around-nya ngapain ya? Ini observe board yang tadi. Observe the installation in the camp. Oh, suruh ini benar lihat-lihat kayak ginian. Ini observe table. Terus observe apa lagi? Shelf. Ini rak. Oke, kita udah observe 3.
Albedo, let's go
Kita balik ke si Albedo. Yuk, langsung jalan yuk.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Agreed.
Berantakan.
I'd love to find a moment to put them all in order. Still, experiments come first. Well,
Iya, betul.
on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tivat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements, but worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side. Do you possess any
Unique abilities, Nos?
abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the
Nggak
same
ada sih ya.
methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment. No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this
Kita
time
nggak ada
around.
skill-skill lain sih, cuman ya emang kita bisa
Now, see
ngendaliin
this pillar here?
elemen doang
Use
sih
your
ya.
willpower to try and break it.
Serius?
That was your best effort?
Kita suruh ngancurin batu segede
Well,
gila gitu.
Can't be helped, I suppose.
What's with the disappointment? Isn't that, like, impossible?
Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how
Suruh
the taste and
pakai
texture
elemental
respond.
power sama
It
makanan
may
guys.
even help with proliferation.
Mungkin
I
makanan
suppose
buat
I have a
ngebuff gitu.
Curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up
Sunshine
a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Apa nih, kita suruh masak sesuatu guys kayaknya nih.
Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. That does sound yummy, though.
Si Paimon kalau makanan selalu nih, I'll save you a fin or two.
Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the
Si
results.
Paimon minta.
If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem.
Oke, kita suruh masak dulu guys. Cuman gue bingung masaknya di mana.
Power into the food.
Oh ini ada nih, ada tempat masak.
Again.
Kita learn dulu resepnya. Terus suruh masak yang tadi namanya apa sih, lupa gua. Oh ini sunshine spread. Kita suruh aduh butuh salt dong, gue bakal beli salt dulu. Oke guys, gue udah beli saltnya, garamnya. Sekarang kita tinggal masak aja. Let's go. Nanti suruh pakai Noel nih lumayan atau sinian ya. Dapat boost. Kita cook aja. Perfect. Go. Kita
That was
kasih ke si
fast.
Albedo.
Looking forward to testing the results.
Kita give langsung aja. Submit, give.
An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy.
Gastronomy.
As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... Could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy.
Oke, kita dibagi juga guys. Dia nggak habisin semuanya. Jadi mungkin kita dapat makanan dan si Paimon kenyang nih.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey, you were being nice a second ago. But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment.
Let's
There
go,
are all
next
manner of
experiments.
alchemical items here.
Percobaan berikutnya guys.
Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you
Apa nih, kita
had,
kayaknya
say,
suruh nyari sesuatu ya.
superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we
Ya, kita
better
suruh
keep
nyari
going.
sesuatu guys. Ini kita bakal cari pakai elemental sight lagi nih. Elemental sight. Lost items. Hah? Pakai apa ya? Gue tidak melihat sesuatu. Gak ada apa-apa dong. Oh ini.
This must
Electromark.
be electrohypostasis powder.
Sama ini. Anemo Mark.
Extract of an animal crystal
Akhirnya kita
fly
dapat.
only
Kita
the animal
sekarang ke si Albedo lagi.
Goodness, you managed to find them. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Oh iya, si elemental sight ini kita
That sort of count as a superpower, huh?
punya orang punya gak sih orang lain?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean we failed again?
Don't be
Kayaknya
disheartened.
punya ya si
This
orang-orang
falls
biasa juga ya.
entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back,
Iya bener punya. Karena waktu kayak quest yang si Lisa tuh yang nyari buku juga dia
I
kan
have to commend
pasang
your
elemental
deduction
sight
that the
ke
items
bukunya
would
itu
contain
supaya bisa di tracking
elemental
emang.
traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning.
With you to the end.
In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities.
Let's start with
Let's start
physical.
with looking out from where we're standing. Can you see what Sucrose is doing?
Gila suruh lihat
If
Sucrose.
you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then? So what
Enggak
about
lah.
if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her?
No. Gila si Albedo
I
nih.
shouldn't get too excited.
Imajinasinya terlalu liar dia, terlalu
Still.
kemana-mana.
We'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test.
Please, follow me. Kita suruh ikutin si Albedo untuk
Still in one
tes
piece.
ya.
Good
Testing
thing
lagi
the
nih.
iron's so strong.
Lewat mana nih? Katanya kita bakal lewat sini guys. Oke guys, kita udah sampai di puncaknya nih. Wih gila sih ini sampai saljunya tebel banget dong.
You want us to jump from up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is.
With
Whichever
better,
method you
have a
choose,
better.
the experiment will end
method.
when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my
Apa
comparative
nih kita suruh
analysis.
The
gliding gitu?
opposite side of the lake. So we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would please, I eagerly await the results.
Let's go. Kita suruh ngapain? Gua bingung.
While we're busy
Oh iya bener nih, suruh gliding ya.
are you gonna be
Kita bakal gliding dulu guys. Kita kayak
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing emotional support.
up. Oke.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oke. Ini nggak terlalu susah sih dibanding sama yang quest.
Forget Paimon said anything.
Waduh. Dibandingin sama quest yang waktu event itu ya, yang ada event gliding itu guys, itu lebih susah sih. Ini cuma bentar banget,
Great
gampang.
work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in
Yo
Mondstat.
gila.
You followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat.
Without breaking a sweat.
Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway,
Dia pakai
if it turns
apa
out
ya?
that the
Bisa
natural laws of
cheat.
Telah do not affect you,
Yang
I
licik
should be
katanya
able
guys
to
dia.
make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Tevat do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite,
I should be able to show you something interesting.
interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended. Gold,
Itu spesimen
petrified
yang tidak
trees,
biasa katanya
a
guys.
sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the
Buset,
prosaic
si
mundanity of a sunsetia
Albedo
or a
ini
sweet
ngomong nggak
flower.
berhenti dong, buset
They
dah.
cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to
Si
sketch
Paimon
those hilly churros?
nembalin
Because you
lagi.
want to see something new and interesting and the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part,
Tapi ini
not
ceritanya
worth
gila
closer
sih menurut gue si
inspection.
Genshin sih.
There
Bikin
is
penasaran
precious
banget.
little about
Terus
them that serves to pique
desain
my curiosity
mapnya
now.
mantap-mantap banget.
So
Jadi
after
pemandangannya
all these
indah banget emang.
experiments, are we gonna be
Makanya
like
HP juga sampai
boring
panas
to you,
mainnya ya.
Like sketches?
Makanya gue main di PC. HP gue
course
kalau
not.
main ini tuh
You have been of
bentar
great
doang ya.
assistance to me, and I will remember this
Baterainya langsung
friendship for a
hilang gila,
lifetime.
langsung nguap itu.
Now,
Jadi
before
ini
we head
memang
back
gamenya
to the
berat.
campsite,
Terus
There's one more
desainnya bagus,
experiment.
karakternya bagus, ceritanya keren,
Intelligence.
bikin penasaran. Ini emang
follow me.
RPG ini
There are
jarang-jarang
some
kayak
other
gini nih
ruins
guys, keren
nearby.
banget sih. Oke, lanjut lagi. Ini berapa jauh nih? Buset, jauh banget dong. Oke, gue bakal perjalanan dulu guys. Nanti kita ketemu lagi di waypointnya ya. Oke guys, sekarang kita udah deket sama waypointnya nih. Kita tinggal ke bawah aja nih. Oke. Tetap. Nah, kita udah sampai di
I imagine
questnya
you
nih.
must
Kita
have
ketemu lagi sama si
encountered more than a few
Albedo.
conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities.
No problem.
I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are
Kita
two
suruh masuk
puzzles
ke
located
ruinsnya.
at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. A tried and
Okay.
tested. So, let's see you in action.
Sekarang disuruh solve the nearby mechanism ya. Ini kita suruh
It's a
mainin
complex
puzzle-nya nih.
environment, so proceed with caution.
Waduh. Challenge completed. Oh, ini udah kebuka semua nih. Yang ini udah kebuka semua, mungkin satu lagi yang ini ya. Jadi ini kita harus ngumpulin ini nih. Sili-sili yang warna merah ini nih.
Here we go.
Oke guys, jadi gue udah berhasil ke atas nih pakai si Venti. Aduh, jatuh lagi dong. Jadi gue terpaksa harus pakai Venti karena si Venti punya skill ini ya yang buat bikin terbangnya ini guys. Nah, ini nih. Gue gak ngerti kalau yang gak punya Venti gimana caranya tuh barusan. Karena gue mendingan pakai Venti aja sih biar cepet. Kebetulan gue hoki banget dapat Venti waktu di banner yang pertama keluar game ini ya, Genshin ya. Oke, kita udah harusnya sih berhasil beresin. Nah, yang kedua nih ya.
It should now
Di
be
challenge
possible to
completed.
activate the central mechanism.
Activate.
Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding
Oke
out.
guys, jadi si airnya tuh menghilang ya di sini ya.
The water level has suddenly
Kita
decreased.
bisa
We should be able to
dapetin
see what's
sesuatu
in the
harusnya di sini
water
nih.
now. Let's have a look.
Oke, kayak ada simbol-simbol gitu. Warna kuning guys. Gua nggak ngerti ini simbolnya artinya apa. Unfamiliar
To the
patterns.
best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Tevat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn
Oke,
about
jadi
them.
ini simbol-simbol ini katanya masih sulit dimengerti kata si Albedo guys.
A true mystery. Let me make a copy first.
Let me make
I'll
a
make time
copy.
to go
Oh,
over
dia
them in greater
bakal
detail
ini dulu.
after our
Dia
research.
copy dulu ini supaya nanti kita bisa teliti lagi ya.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once. Seems like if you want the reward, you
Gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle
Oke.
for you to witness.
Kita bakal si Albedo bakal balik dulu ke campsite-nya. See you
Paimon's
soon.
kinda looking forward to seeing the result of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Oke,
Not
kita
so
bakal balik
fast.
juga.
You're not leaving until
Ada
I'm
si Rosaria
convinced
dong,
that
dia.
nothing dangerous is going on here.
Dengerin kita terus gitu, dia ngikutin kita terus gitu.
The mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed
Oh iya,
everything that you
witness
and Albedo
everything
have
that
been
you
up
and
to.
Albedo have been up
I
to.
must say,
Jadi dia udah
you
ngikutin
let
terus
your
kita
guards
sama
down.
Albedo.
Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling sounding hypothesis and friendly
Jadi si
demeanor.
Rosaria ini curiga sama si Albedo guys. Dia takutnya si Albedo tuh punya niat buruk ya.
Taking orders from a
Si
complete
Rosaria ini
stranger,
kayak baik
drinking
sih menurut gue
anonymous
sih.
potions, participating in all kinds
Karena
of
ya dia kan
strange
emang sisters
experiments.
juga ya. Jadi dia
I'd sooner
apa?
believe you were tricked than
Dia
that you
orang
would
gereja
be
juga guys,
someone.
orangnya katedral.
Or perhaps
Listen, sister, your guard's so high you can't even see over the top of it.
it doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint.
Gue penasaran nanti dia
for all you know.
skill-skill si Rosaria-nya bakal kayak apa ya. Soalnya emang kalau gue lihat dari karakternya nih ya,
I'm only concerned with one thing.
keren juga sih
Whether
emang.
his alchemy
Di
has
sana keren-keren loh
transformed you into something
Genshin
more
ya.
sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you
Keren tuh, lihat
wouldn't
tuh.
sense a thing.
Dia pakai kemah kota gitu.
In any
Terus
case,
dia
I'm not
kayak
about to let a
tangannya
potential
pakai
threat
kayak
back into
armor-armor
Mondstat.
berduri juga.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've
Ya
got
kan
a
tuh kayak ada
hand it to you.
duri-durinya gitu
You
guys.
have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left
Tapi
on the
gua
agenda are these symbols.
Agak,
But we don't
menurut gue si
even know what
Rosaria ini agak kayak vampire gak sih?
That much is true.
Dari warnanya
Not
gitu
to
ya.
mention, seems
Terus
like
kayak
there's
dari
nothing more to them. But for
kostumnya.
insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat.
Okay.
Which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
overtime.
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
Oh,
She's gone.
katanya kita suruh hati-hati sama si Albedo. Jangan kita percaya sama semua omongannya dia ya.
Huh. Never mind her.
Let's go see
see
Albedo. Let's go, kita ke si Albedo, kita teleport aja seperti biasa. Oke guys, gue udah sampai lagi di campsite-nya si Albedo. Kita langsung aja ngomong.
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back?
Not
Time
really.
for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is
You're very much like
a
human
from this
form.
world.
From this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that.
Please,
Konklusinya
I understand that this
kita
may have seemed
mirip
self-evident to you,
sama orang-orang
but in
biasa
fact,
di dunia ini guys.
nothing in this world should be taken
Itu
for
mah.
granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Tevat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I
Perhaps,
mentioned the natural
mungkin.
laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Tevat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy.
Wih,
And so,
apaan tuh? Apaan tuh ya?
Oh, it looks like
Wih,
something's appearing.
bunga ya? Dia bikin pakai apa
the
sih itu?
transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem.
Tahu gue emang si Albedo ini skill
Now to
E-nya dia
He's
bisa
not nurturing
pakai
otherworldly life, also nurturing the
kayak
world
bunga
itself.
gitu guys. Jadi si dia naruh bunga, terus ada keluar kayak bulatan gitu, lingkaran gitu.
It would seem
Semua yang di
that
dalam
that's
lingkaran
as
itu
far as
kalau
we
misalnya
go.
ke damage, dia kena damage
A transient
Geo juga.
bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever. And it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Well, I haven't with her just yet.
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even
Oke.
if dispelling loneliness
Ini
is not
udah kayak mau
essential for
beres gak sih
life,
questnya?
it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me
kayaknya
to
belum deh.
discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises,
Sure.
can I solicit your help again? Well, glad I can count on you.
Oke.
I made a point throughout of telling him how ordinary the results were. But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there.
Oh, ternyata jawabannya nggak ordinary kita guys. Kita
Those born
nggak
of earth are bound by its imperfections.
terlalu mirip
Those
sama ini
born
ya.
of chalk are free of
Sama
impurities.
orang di dunia ini guys.
You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If one day I lose control,
Lose control,
destroy
destroy Mondstat.
Mondstat, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Wah, si Albedo ini kenapa ya? Oke, beres questnya.
Look at that. Looks like someone made camp here. Are
Wih.
other people adventuring nearby?
Kita lihat dulu questnya. Oh, ternyata masih ada lagi guys. Ini head to the adventurer camp nih. Kita langsung lanjutin lagi aja ya.
I keep watch. You leave, you call me.
Jauh juga. Kita langsung teleport aja guys. Pestering. Apa namanya tadi lupa gua. Oke. Kita ketemu sama si Sucrose guys ternyata. Hai Sucrose.
Sucrose, are you here to explore the snowy mountain too?
You
Lah.
scared me. Please, don't scare me like that. I was giving
Kenapa
my
ketakutan
research
dia?
report some much-needed consideration.
But you were just standing over there staring
Staring
into
into space.
Not at all. I was just thinking of a name for a new subspecies of sweet flower I propagated. It has seeds that are 4 times as large as normal.
Sweet flower.
Oh, are you interested? Wonderful. Next time, please allow me to show you the fruits of my work. It's a shame. If I wasn't coming to this mountain, I would have brought some samples with me.
Yeah. Weren't you doing research in the city? How come you're here?
Timaeus and I were helping Albedo organize research data. Timaeus just left, in fact.
Hah?
You didn't run it.
Sure didn't.
He said that he wasn't as sharp as Albedo when it came to data. By quite a long shot, in fact. The significance of some things Albedo is able to grasp almost immediately. But we, on the other hand, take
Bener nih, emang
considerable
questnya belum
time.
beres guys, soalnya tadi masih ngegantung gitu ya.
Timaeus seemed rather depressed about the matter. He said he was going to take a walk.
Jadi ada yang disembunyiin sama si Albedo guys dari kita nih.
I was originally going to take a look around myself after finishing up here, but unexpectedly, I gleaned some interesting data from these reports. But, well, guess my search for secrets will have to wait.
Secrets? Ooh, what secrets?
Do
Actually,
you have time?
do you
Don't have anything on us but that.
then could I ask you for a favor? In truth,
Oh iya nih bener nih.
I feel like
Albedo
is
nyembunyiin sesuatu dari
concealing
Sucrose dan
something from myself and
Timaeus ya.
Timaeus.
But
Bahkan dari kita juga.
teacher? What would a teacher have to hide from his student?
That's true, but
Dia
I feel
kayak
like
aneh
he's
juga sih
always
tadi.
hiding
Kayaknya dia
something.
bakal
It is my
bisa hilang
personal
kontrol
guess that
gitu
it is
dan
some great
dia
secret
berharap
about me.
kita bisa berhentiin dia tuh kalau misalnya dia hilang kontrol.
How are you so
Mungkin
sure?
kayak Naruto gitu.
Timaeus and I are both
Kalau dulu kan
passionate
waktu dia masih belum bisa
researchers about
ngendalin
me.
si ekor
If it was
sembilannya,
anything else, Albedo wouldn't have
kalau
any
misalnya
reason
udah
to
lost
hide it
control
from
kan
us.
dia nyerang semuanya ya.
You do have a point.
Mungkin kayak gitu guys.
Could you help me investigate what it is that Albedo's hiding? Please. I'm just too curious.
What do you think?
Yes,
Let's go.
thank you.
All right. Let's take a little trip, shall we?
Langsung kita lanjut lagi. Kita teleport aja nih, kayaknya kita disuruh ke campsite-nya lagi ya. Oke guys, kita udah sampai di campsite-nya nih. Kita suruh ngobrol lagi sama si Albedo. Hey there.
Why are you here? Are you lost?
No, we're not.
Sucrose says that you conceal some unspeakable secret.
A secret?
Hey, what are you doing? Our mission calls for a delicate approach.
Ya gue gak ada pilihan lain, tadi pilihan cuma itu doang.
Actually, you've arrived at just the right moment.
I have business with you.
too, in fact.
In fact.
Here, catch.
What's this?
As you can see,
Wih.
it is a sword.
Pedang keren banget ya.
I did not make the sword.
ini
However,
keren banget
I
sih.
did add some alchemical touches to it. Would you like to try it out? My research indicates that this sword has some
Unique properties.
unique properties.
Only you can use it.
Only you can use it, but I need to gather data from it quite urgently. So, could I bother you to use it in battle?
Wait a second. How can there be a sword that only one person can use?
Very astute of you. This sword has indeed had a curse
Curse
laid
laid?
upon it. An
Lah, kenapa
ordinary
kita harus
person
pakai kalau
would
gitu?
be unable to wield it at all.
Oh, jadi
You are an exception.
kita bisa pakai karena kita beda sama orang lain ya. Kita kan
Perhaps I
datang
should
dari
say
dunia
that
lain itu
only
guys.
You are immune to the curse. As such, who could I find to help
Immune
me
to the
if not
curse.
you? We gain little from saying more.
Kita
Go find some
tahan sama
monsters
kutukan
nearby.
yang ada di
After
pedang ini
all,
guys.
Some things are best discovered through practice.
Oke. Dapat pedang. Terus suruh ngapain nih? Take up the mysterious sword and do a battle. Let's go. Oke guys. Udah deket.
How about those over there?
Paimon still
Ntar,
has a bad-
coba kita pakai dulu si ininya guys ya. Si pedangnya nih. Oh bisa nih, si Cici juga bisa pakai ah. Oh bisa tuh. Tapi ini level masih kecil kan ya? Level pedangnya? Iya masih level 1. Coba deh. Gila nggak ada damage-nya pak. Nggak ada damage-nya, nggak kuat gua. Ganti.
Time for takeoff.
Oke.
over here. It's with this brat.
Hah? Apa
Give
nih?
it back, you thief.
Treasure hoarders? There are treasure hoarders in a place this cold?
Enough talk. Hand it over.
Watch out.
Hand it over apa nih? Oh, kita bakal lawan lawan si ini ya. Treasure hoardernya. Tapi treasure hoarder tuh ece-ece, guys. Nih, aduh. Kita bantai aja, guys. Ini mah roco. Ah, tuh, ngumpul semua. Oh, loh. Mati gak tuh pada? Udah habis. Oh, masih ada. Kita coba. Ampun. Kita summon ini, terus kita pakai ini. Gila, lu semua mukulin gue terus. Oh, gila. Sakit juga. Kita heal dulu. Terus gua bakal kumpulin lagi pakai skillnya Venti. Dan gua bakal heal si Razor. Boom, heal. Let's go. Mungkin ini suruh balikin pedangnya gitu. Kayaknya pedangnya diambil sama si Albedo deh. Terus si treasure hoarder ini pengen juga pedangnya, guys.
Treasure hoarders calling us thieves?
They certainly arrived quickly. Goodness, no.
They seem to have been talking about this sword. What's going on?
Why are you looking at me like that? Of course
Apa si
I didn't
Albedo
steal
nyuri
the
ini
sword.
ya?
Not long ago, the knights caught a
Knights
band
caught a band of treasure
hoarders
hoarders
outside
outside the
the city.
city.
The goods they were smuggling were also impounded. This sword was one of those items. We believed it to be stolen plunder, but no one came to claim it. Nor could we find out where it came from. So it languished in our stores. I noticed it quite by chance
Ini
while in
pedangnya
our
keren juga sih
storehouse.
menurut gua sih.
To
Beda
tell you
sama
the
pedang-pedang
truth,
biasanya ya.
Such an old sword would
ungu
see
gitu
little
warnanya,
use
guys.
outside of alchemy.
Terus kayak pedang kayaknya jahat gitu. Kayak pedang orang jahat itu, guys.
So, then what happened? You just took it with you?
Indeed. And I initially intended to perform some experiments on it, but I unexpectedly discovered its true origins in the process. This ancient-looking weapon once passed through the hands of a now-deceased blacksmith. It is a legendary, magical sword.
Oh, legendary magical sword dong.
It is said that the smith vanished not long after creating the weapon, with the weapon subsequently becoming lost to time, working backwards from its eventual fate as plunder.
Jadi pembuat pedang ini katanya hilang setelah nggak lama dia bikin pedang ini.
It remained in obscurity till recently.
Blacksmith who made this weapon disappeared?
Mungkin gara-gara pedangnya terkutuk gitu, jadi dibikin dia ngilang.
Cursed.
Exactly. Do you know the story of
Durin
Durin
and this mountain.
Durin was the black dragon who menaced Mondstat.
Durin Black Dragon.
Before finally being defeated by
Oh
the
iya
combined efforts
benar.
of the
Durin
Fallen
itu dulu sempat
and the
ada
animal
perang,
archon
jadi antar
Barbados.
naga gitu Durin
After
sama
a
The Fallen.
fierce
The Fallen
battle,
tuh si Stone Terror
the
ya.
vanquished
Jadi
Durin
dia
crashed to ruin here,
ngelawan si
falling
Stone Terror
into the
sama
thick
si
snow.
Venti sama si Anemogod.
Snow gathers
Tapi
atop this mountain and never
jadi yang menang itu
melts,
si
which is the most
Anemogod,
curious
si Venti
phenomenon,
sama si The
which
Fallen,
leads
si
one to wonder,
Stone Terror.
was Durin's
Tapi
failure purely by chance?
waktu terakhir itu jadi
Or was
si
it
The
intent?
Fallen itu jadi ada kristal ungu itu di
Perhaps
badan
this
dia itu,
place
jadi
was
dia
chosen
agak
as a
korup
grave
gitu,
site
jadi agak
precisely so that the snow's power could seal the corrosive
jadi jahat
toxin
gitu.
coming from Durin's body.
Tapi setelah kita
That seems plausible
hilangin
that
kan
Barbados
si
would
kristalnya
think
kita
of such a
hancurin
method.
waktu lagi diceritanya itu. Nah, dia udah kembali jadi baik lagi, guys.
Barbados such a capable god?
Well, these are just my postulations. I don't have any evidence. But what's for certain is that this mountain and Durin are deeply intertwined. In fact, I believe that the very sword in your hand has
Oh,
Durin's
bener.
remains in it.
Makanya dia warnanya ungu.
Dragon's remains?
Indeed.
Jadi ada
The dragon's eyes, claws, and scales ground into dust before being used to coat the blade. In this
oh,
way,
ini bahan-bahan
Durin's
untuk
corruption and
bikin
venom
pedang ini
entered
tuh
into
dari
the sword
si
and became the source of
Durin
its
itu,
power.
guys, dari naganya.
This is very advanced craftsmanship. I presume that having successfully forged the weapon, the smith must have tried it out themselves in their joy. But using the sword in battle would have allowed the corruption to seep through the blade's handle and into their bodies. Ordinary mortals cannot withstand such power. The blacksmith must then have fled
Ya benar. Jadi dia udah setelah bikin pedang itu dia
before meeting their end in some
karena dia orang
unknown
biasa,
place.
dia nggak bisa pegang pedangnya guys. Jadi dia kena curse-nya juga, kena
You've
kutukannya
purified
juga.
the volunteers before, which is a very rare ability indeed.
Oh,
This
bener nih,
ability has protected you from being corrupted or poisoned, and you can completely eliminate their effect, which is why you and only you can
Oh
properly
iya,
wield the
kenapa?
sword.
Jadi cuman kita doang yang cuman bisa pegang pedang ini. Karena waktu itu juga kita ingat kita bisa ini
As far as I'm concerned, this is
kristal
where the
merahnya
real
si
experiment
Devalin,
begins.
air matanya
This
Devalin
sword is
kita
still
bisa
very
itu kita
weak at
bersihin
present.
jadi biru lagi
However,
guys. Makanya
it is
kita nggak
able
bisa
to
kena
absorb
racunnya.
energy.
Ini juga kita nggak bisa
And
kena
through that,
curse-nya ini, nggak bisa
it
kena
is able to
kutukannya.
constantly become stronger. In some sense, you could even say that it is a living thing. Well then, traveler, adventure with it to your heart's content. I need you to help it grow. I believe that we will soon have all the proof that we need.
Nah, kali ini harusnya questnya beres nih. Oke guys, jadi tadi kita udah ngejalanin questnya. Pertama kali kita ketemu si Sucrose, dan kita disuruh ketemu si Albedo di Dragonspine. Tapi pas baru sampai di Dragonspine, tiba-tiba ada karakter baru lagi, namanya Rosaria, yang ternyata dia juga lagi menginvestigasi jejaknya si Albedo. Jadinya kita bareng sama si Rosaria nyari Albedo. Setelah ketemu kita diajak ke campsite-nya Albedo untuk diteliti. Mungkin si Albedo penasaran kenapa kita bisa ngendalin elemen tanpa vision. Setelah diteliti, Albedo ngomong kalau badan kita ini mirip sama orang biasa guys. Tapi kayaknya si Albedo tuh nyembunyiin sesuatu. Terakhir kita dikasih pedang kuat banget, tapi terkutuk karena pedangnya itu dibuat pakai material dari naga yang jahat guys. Tapi berhubung kita kebal dari kutukan, jadi cuma kita yang bisa pakai pedang itu. Oke, sampai di sini dulu videonya. Thanks banget buat semuanya yang udah nonton dan support terus. Buat kalian yang suka jangan lupa like, share, dan subscribe ya. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay and thank you very much for watching.